You, yes, you are absolutely anointed to live in abundance. Transform to be your greatest self that you have been called to be. Completely embrace the victory within you because it's all for God's glory and His purpose for your life. Get ready for the next shift to blow your mind. God is going to blow your mind. Are you ready? Hey, what's up? How is your day going? I pray that it's going well, my fellow visionary. And if this is your first time tuning in, welcome. My name is Crystal Kajes. I am a prosperity strategist. I equip, edify, and empower visionaries to elevate into the highest version of themselves that God is calling them to be. And I'm just, really like reflective these days because we just wrapped up a series called Attitude Adjustment. And I felt God say, that's it. We're done. We're done with the attitude adjustments for now. And we're moving on. And I was just looking back over the couple weeks and I even caught myself replaying Mandate Moment. Was it Mandate Moment? I forgot which episode, but one of them episodes was like so relevant like today and yesterday. And it just really hit home about, just rolling with the transition and just renewing your yes to God, no matter how hazy it may seem. The whole point is to just keep putting one foot in front of the other. And I feel like it's in alignment with one of the things that I've been hearing for the past couple of days, and that is the word discipline. And when it comes to discipline, there's so many different contexts, right? You can say discipline like I am going to, get disciplined, like disciplinary action, right? But I believe that discipline, the true definition of discipline, according to God's heart, is just being able to follow just follow the plan, follow the instruction, no matter what it seems like, no matter what it feels like, because at the end of the day, it's just going to have to get done. If you don't feel like it, it's going to get done. It has to get done. There cannot be any excuses. And that's what I truly believe, that discipline is like the true definition of it and what it means. And a lot of times when you first give that yes, it's like, yes, God, I'm ready to do this. And then there's some days where life just be lifing and you're like, wait a second, God, can we just press pause on this? But discipline is being able to navigate the woes of life and still do what it is that you have to do. Even just how resilient you are, how adaptive you are, right? And how you just adjust. Those things make a big difference in how you show up. And it's just in all areas of your life because we have so many different hats. It's not just your business. It's your ministry. It's for your family. It's just even like for your physical health, right? In your social life. Where is the discipline? How can you execute the discipline that God is requiring of you, right? And so it's about making those decisions, those hard decisions that go against what you really feel like doing. That is the easy way or the pleasurable way, like just dying to yourself, like crucifying the flesh and just keeping your eyes like just focused on the vision, focused on the goal, focused on that, what God has showed you, what He told you, right? It's about being obedient. So discipline has this dynamic to it that it just requires that extra push. And that push may not always come from the outside motivation, right? You may not have your bank account looking like how you want it to look. You may not have all the energy. You may not be in the mood, right? But that push is that it just has to come from a place, a special place it's not even from like your own will. It has to be like your heart has to be postured in this and centered in a level of maturity where you're like, I gotta do this. I gotta do it this way. And I have to do it at this time, or I have to like decrease this, or I have to maximize this. Like, it just gives you this decision, this choice. You have to make it regardless of how you may feel, regardless how it may look. And these type of things are always counterintuitive because usually what we want to do is always easier. It's always easier. And like the path that has the resistance, that's usually the direction that you should be going in, right? Because it's only in that uncomfortability where you're going to find that change and that breakthrough. I think I mentioned it before, like a lot of animals that we see today, the way that they are, if you actually go back and track from, back from the history of how that animal is, the evolution, like the animal had to go through certain pressures and certain challenges and even certain traumas to actually have a certain defense mechanism or to develop a certain type of bodily physiological structure that allows it to protect itself or allow it to navigate its way in its environment, all because of the things that it had to go through. I wish I could even think of one off the top of my head. I didn't even have that prepared, but just having that knowledge that I already know about even certain animals, the way that they evolved. They evolve, like look up the word evolve, like it's an evolution. Like the evolution keeps up with what's going on, despite the opposition, despite the discomfort, despite the frustration. You evolve because what it gives you is this strength. It gives you this adaptability. It provides a source and a sense of resilience that you can actually have a point of reference to say, I've been through that. This is why I have this, right? Because without that experience, it wouldn't have shaped me. It wouldn't have shaped my mind. It wouldn't have shaped my heart. It wouldn't have shaped my soul. It wouldn't have shaped my perspective in this way. And we're talking about, shaping for the greater good, not falling into the way the enemy wants these things to affect us, right? The enemy wants these negative things to break us down. The enemy wants it to cause such a disappointment that we don't even bounce back. But when you look at it from a point of victory, when you look at it from an angle of, you know what, God is going to turn this around. You know what, God is going to evolve me. God is growing me. God is stretching me with this, although he didn't orchestrate this, but he allowed it to happen, and he's going to bring me through it. And I'm going to come out on the other side with more wisdom. I'm going to come out on the other side with a better character. I'm going to come out on the other side with a forgiving heart. I'm going to come out on the other side with a word. I'm going to come out on the other side with a testimony, And I feel like it all starts at a place from discipline. Like if you don't have that discipline and that mindset and that perspective, right? To say, I want to do this regardless because this is what God wants for me. And if I go the other way, I am, saying no to a better version of me. I am forfeiting an elevation that God has promised me. That vision, it's not going to come to its full fruition if I don't endure, if I don't persist, if I don't persevere. And that's why I believe that God has put this word discipline so bold in my mind all week that without discipline, we can't even get to the next level. Right? Because life is going to life. While God has a promise that he's speaking, the enemy has a plan to oppose that. Right? So as we walk in the promises of God, the enemy is walking in his plots and his schemes and his tricks to come against that. But if you don't have the discipline, you don't have the perspective to be aware, you're going to give up. You're going to turn the other way. You're going to throw in the towel, right? And it's not about, motivating yourself. It's not about pulling yourself together. It's not none of that. It's all about just the discipline to know that God is doing his thing and you just going to have to muscle through. And that's the perspective of discipline that was downloaded to me. And I'm just like floored. And I'm like, okay, God, discipline is not really about having like this strict structure. Yes, you may have a structure, you may have a plan, you may have a strategy, all of those things. But I really feel like in the nitty gritty of God's heart, the discipline is a sense of knowing I got to do this because God said so. That's really what it is. And God is a God of love. So the discipline is never going to feel like this harsh abuse or torture. No, it's like, you know what? This is actually molding me and making me for my good. So today's episode ain't even really that long, to be honest with you, compared to how I usually do it. I just feel like this was a short, sweet word that it don't even need to go. I don't even need to keep expanding on it, because I believe that whoever listens to this episode, they needed to hear it, and that's it. Like, I said what I needed to say and you get it. Like, don't think of discipline like this harsh structure, like militant thing. The discipline is really after God's heart, where he's like, look, just endure, allow yourself to grow from this. Allow yourself to elevate from this. I believe that's God's heart on discipline. So, like I usually say, tap in with me on social media. Hit me in my DMs. Let me know what you think about this episode. We can connect. And I will, sometimes be doing pop-ups on Clubhouse. I'm not sure on the schedule, but most of the time I'll try to pop up, do like a little pop-up so we can hold some conversation, hold a safe space. Just tap in, because I want to get your feedback. What does discipline look like to you? Like, what did it look like to you before listening to this episode, and how you're considering it now concerning God's heart for you and the love that he has for you? All right. I look forward to hearing from you. Take care. Bye.
It was so amazing having another prosperity talk with you. If you enjoyed this episode, or you're just enjoying this podcast overall, one of the best ways you can say thank you is by leaving me a review. And you can even show some extra love by sharing your favorite takeaway and tag me on social media. Thank you in advance. Until next time.